kind of reiterate, we know that ends at the end of the summer, so Marc Guéhi will be able to leave on a free transfer. Because we're in January now, he is free to talk to foreign clubs as well, and we know that he's been interested. The clubs that are interested in him are the likes of Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and others as well. But look, the main two that we've been talking about here at Sky Sports News has basically been Liverpool and Manchester City. Now, with these injuries that Manchester City have suffered in the last week, that's where this interest comes from, and that's where we seem to have seen it accelerate. Marc Guéhi, though, he's got all these options open to him, and he's got so many different ways that he can play this. You know, like I said, he's free to talk to these foreign clubs. He's free to join Manchester City if they go and make an offer. We know Liverpool were close to signing him at the last day of the last transfer window. It was only for Igor Julio moving to West Ham from Crystal Palace that move kind of collapsed. So, yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Jeff, I don't know if I know you actually did move on a free transfer, so
yeah.
When you've got a player like this in January, what do you think's kind of going through his head? What do you think the right move to make is when you've got kind of all of these options open to you?
I think that's the main point. He's got that many options. He didn't get his move. How long did it take him to get over that? Who knows? But is he moving now in January because it suits Crystal Palace? And it might not suit him, so does he sit and wait? And for me, going to City, yeah, they've got an injury crisis pretty much, but I think if he stays at Palace, he plays every game. I think that's a massive thing going into the World Cup, and then who knows at City, and if Pep doesn't like him, he won't start every game, and he wants to be going into that squad.
Well, he might at the moment, Jeff, just purely because of the injury.
Just because of that, yeah.
You'll know more about fracturing a shin, which is apparently what Guardiola's done. That's not going to be back quickly, is it, for the Croatian? Obviously, Diaz limped off against Chelsea as well. Who needs him more, do you think, though, out of Liverpool and Manchester City?
Who needs him more? I would say Man City, definitely. I think he fits them a little bit more. Liverpool are coming under a lot of aerial attacks, and he probably won't want to go into a situation like that, going into City maybe, who are, competing for titles this season a bit more than Liverpool. Probably will benefit him, and it'll look a bit more.
Jeff,
a little bit better.
If you're advising him as his mate or as his agent, what are you saying?
I'm not his agent, by the way, just so people know.
You're saying free transfer then. But if you're advising him now, like you said, a few months out to the World Cup, City potential Premier League winners, Liverpool, we know how much of a big club they are and what they can do in terms of future title challenges, current Premier League holders. What are you saying for him to do, kind of football terms, but also kind of career terms, financial as well? What kind of makes sense?
I think obviously moving, he's going to get financial benefits, but for me, if I was him, I'd be telling him, sit still. You're leading Crystal Palace, you're playing every week, you're in Europe with them. Stay there, and then your options become even bigger and better in the summer. And that's what I'd say to him, yeah.
Do you see him, though, sticking around in the Premier League? Because, as Chris has said there, some of the big boys in Europe, all of the big boys, the Barcelonas, the Real Madrids, the Inter Milans, the Atletico Madrids, all interested in potentially starting conversations. And again, the second part of that question, would you then see City try to accelerate this to get ahead of them and say, do you know what, here's 30, because it's still 30 million quid, that's just plucking a number out of the sky. A fee would still be a good deal for City, for Liverpool, for a Premier League team.
Of course, yeah, and because he's English, like we've all grown up, and winning the Premier League is that the main thing. But I think we're seeing it more and more now. British players going abroad and they're flourishing. They're kicking on in their careers, and for him to go to a massive club throughout Europe and maybe just having a change and getting out of the Premier League could be good for him. He might not want to go straight into a Premier League team after Palace, but I like what I'm seeing in British players going abroad and making a name for themselves in a different country. So I think he'd be crazy not to look at interest from massive clubs around. And I think Harry Kane said that he didn't understand how big Bayern were till he went there. So it could be the same with Marc as well.
You find out how wanted you are, don't you, when you're going on a free? I imagine that phone rings a lot more than usual.
I wish I was as wanted as him, but yeah, no, I had a couple of offers, and it is tough when you're a free agent and you're weighing up what is the best move for you, for your career and for your family. So there's a lot of factors you have to key in, but mine wasn't.